Hi everybody, Erica Hargadon here, certified child sleep consultant with my private practice Babogue. I'm the creator of the Sleep Series, which is an online sleep program built around my 7 steps to better sleep, and I'm a mum of 3. So there's very little I haven't seen on the sleep front with my crew, and this I have lived. My first child, I experienced my biggest, I suppose, sleep issues with. And when he was 7.5, 8 months old, this is exactly what I was experiencing. So he would only sleep in my arms. So let's talk about that today. So a 7.5, 8-month-old who will only sleep well in your arms. You hold him, you get him to sleep, and then you put him down into his cot, and the minute the bum hits, he's like, boom, awake. I remember that. So yeah, this is probably around sleep expectation. So if you're finding that like baby will only sleep comfortably in your arms, maybe only sleep for long periods of time in your arms, wakes frequently overnight, and you might get them down to sleep and into their cot, but then you have to redo that again multiple times overnight. And possibly then they won't settle back and you have to take them into the bed in order for them to settle well. I'm sure that sounds familiar to an awful lot of you. So what I would say is that this is around expectations. Certainly by this age range, this is probably what your little one now expects around their sleep. That this is what has evolved. Possibly you have tried to get them down in their cot and it has resulted in them getting really upset, and they will only settle then when you lift them. So this is kind of maybe the cycle that is now happening around their sleep. And I would probably expect to see that this is happening at bedtime, this is happening in the overnight phase, and this is also happening with naps. And I would probably expect to see that naps are only long, so beyond maybe 30 or 45 minutes, when baby is being held by an adult, a parent or a caregiver, or possibly in a buggy being walked. I'm sure that sounds familiar. So usually parents would come to me for advice or for help with this when this is maybe gotten too much, and this isn't necessarily what their sleep goal is. They would maybe prefer to try and have more independent sleep going on. So what I would do is look at the overall picture that's happening, because you have to take this approach when it comes to sleep. It's not about one individual thing that's happening. It's the whole picture. So we would look at the napping dynamic for this age range, and this age range would be between 2 and 3 naps. Okay, so making sure that napping is happening at times that is age appropriate and supportive of your little one's sleep. I'd also be looking at sleep environment for this child. So is the child giving sleep opportunity in an environment that's supportive of their sleep? So like, is it a full-size cot? Is the environment nice and dark? As dark can be, because that supports melatonin production, the sleepy hormone, which helps you get to sleep and maintain sleep. So are all these boxes being ticked around their sleep? And these are things that I would go through in my 7 steps to better sleep. It goes the same with like feeding. So are bottles or breastfeeds happening at times that are supportive of solid intake and vice versa? So we try and create a real stepping stone through the day of sleep opportunity, feed opportunity, sleep opportunity, feed opportunity, and so on, so that the balance is there for your little one. And even small tweaks around that can help with the sleep side of things. But usually what I would find is that parents need to try and work on changing the expectation around sleep. And this is the hard bit, where you try and change that your child expects to be held asleep, and you try and get them down into their cot, into their sleep environment. And I will always hear, they're going to get really upset. So I would like parents to maybe anticipate that. If you change the goalposts around what your baby expects with their sleep, then they're going to be frustrated because they don't know what to do. This is new to them. Their expectation is to be held. So if you want to change that, they're going to be frustrated. And parents really struggle with what to do around that. I don't want to stay. I do want to stay. This is my parenting style. So I would always say, do your research. There's lots and lots of options out there for parents who wish to make change around sleep, but want to support their baby in it, or they want to do things a little bit differently maybe than what they're reading on the internet. There's lots out there. And this is something I go through in the sleep series. We've 5 different methods in that program to help you make the changes that you want, that maybe are appropriate to your parenting style and what feels okay for you. And what you need to do is make a plan. So take that knowledge and information and make a plan on how you're going to evolve this to another stage. Don't expect that change is going to happen immediately. It won't. You're going to need to compartmentalize that your child is learning something new. So it's going to take them time to get to grips with that. How much time? Like possibly 2 to 4 weeks, maybe longer. It all depends on the dynamic that's going on between you and your child. Okay. I would always say to parents to start a plan with night, because when they're going to bed, generally the drive for sleep is higher from the hormone releases. So if you start it with the bedtime, then you follow that through overnight and into naps the following day. And what you will generally see by following that pattern consistently over a number of days and into maybe a week or 10 days, you will start to see sleep consolidation come because your child is getting to grips with their skill. You do have to take this as an overall approach. You can't just go, well, they want to be held to sleep, but I don't really want them to nap in their buggy. I want to nap out and about. Sometimes that's not always going to work for your child. So you've got to take the overall approach for your little one. And really by expecting that they may not like the change, but having a plan in place that feels right to you as a parent is going to help you make the changes that you would like to see, but keep your own expectations in the right spot. Your baby is not going to take to this overnight. It's going to take time and consistency from you for them to be able to get to grips with the changes. And really consistency is a key point when you are working on sleep. So if you want to learn more about me, check out babogue.com. I hope you found that useful. Thanks, guys.